Hi everyone, my name is Pan Deng and I'm in my final trimester of my Bachelor of Commerce here at Creating Singapore. It's a bit crazy to think that in just a few weeks, my life as a student will be over. So this presentation feels like a really good chance to just pause for a moment, to look back on this whole university journey, not just the grades, but the real stuff, what I have actually learned, the things I'm proof of, and what I've done, and honestly, what I probably could have done better. I'll be sharing my thoughts from this Enhancing Your Business Mind unit, zooming out to talk about my whole time at Creating Singapore, and then looking ahead to what I plan to do next. Thanks for giving me your time and listening. I still remember the first time we used the employability tool right in our first seminar of this unit. I clicked through it pretty quickly, thinking it would be just another survey. But when I saw the results, it was a real wake-up call. The chart showed my academic scores were okay, but other areas, especially professional network and industry experience, were basically in the red. It was a bit of a shock because I always thought getting good marks was the main point of university. Then in our very last class, we did it again, and this time it was different because this unit forced me to step out of my comfort zone again and again, having to pitch to classmates, negotiate a deal, solve problems in a team under pressure. I could actually see a clear improvement in those red areas. They were not all green yet, but they were definitely moving in the right direction. The biggest thing the tool taught me was not the score itself, it was the mindset. It made me realize that no one is going to hand you a career. You have to build it yourself, piece by piece, by actively seeking out experiences. That shift from being a passive student to an active participant is probably the most valuable takeaway from this whole exercise. Talking about active experiences, this unit was absolutely full of them. It was less of a class and more of a workshop, and it surprised me how much you can learn by just doing things. The Spaghetti Tower Challenge is a perfect example. I remember our group had one guy who immediately took charge and said, "We need to build a really tall, skinny structure," and we all just went along with it without really questioning. We spent almost the whole time building this Robbie tower, and with just 10 seconds left, we carefully placed the marshmallow on top, and we all watched it just slowly lean over and fall down completely. It was frustrating at the same time, but that failure taught me more about real-world projects than a textbook ever could. We didn't test our idea early. We didn't listen to other possible approaches, and our teamwork was just following others. It was a crash course in why communication and testing your assumptions are so important. Then there was the negotiation simulation. I was on the management side, and my goal was to keep costs low. The person across from me was arguing for better safety equipment for workers. At first, I was just thinking about my arguments and my numbers, but then she said something like, "This isn't just about money, it's about people not getting hurt," and that hit me. I had to stop seeing her as an opponent and start seeing her as a partner with a different priority. We ended up finding a compromise That moment was huge for me. It showed me that in business and in life, understanding the other person's why is everything. Through all these weekly activities with different teammates, I also end up making a couple of good friends I still talk to, which was a nice bonus. So the lesson I'm carrying with me is simple but powerful. Your technical skills might get you in the door, but it's your people skills that will define your career. When I zoom out and think about my whole time at Curtin University, it's been a real mix of challenges and good times. Do I think I chose the right degree? Yeah, I do. I'm generally interested in my major, the international business, and I feel like I have a solid foundation of knowledge now. But if I'm being totally honest, my biggest regret is probably playing it too safe. I wish I had pushed myself to get more involved outside the classroom. I see friends who were in clubs or who did internships, or they just have so many more stories and connections. I think I was too focused on just getting through the assignments and exams. So my advice to any student listening would be, don't make the same mistake. Your degree is what you study, but your education is everything you experience. Managing my time was a constant battle between lectures, part-time job shifts, and trying to have a social life. There were definitely some very stressful late-night study sessions. There were times I wondered if it was all worth it. But overall, I loved the independence of university life and the feeling of solving a difficult problem or understanding a complex topic. As for further study, I think I'm ready for a break from being a full-time student. I'm excited to finally step into the real world and apply for everything I've learned. Maybe down the track, if I see a need for it in my career, I might come back for a master's. But for now, I'm looking forward to closing this chapter. So, what's the plan after I toss my graduation cap in the air? My immediate goal is to land an entry-level position in digital marketing. I know it might be competitive, so my first steps are pretty practical. I'm going to book an appointment with the Curtin Career Center to get my resume and my LinkedIn profile looking really sharp. Then I will start actively searching and applying for graduate programs. I know that just applying online isn't enough. To really stand out and learn more, I need to start building my network. I plan to be more active on LinkedIn, not just schooling, but actually reaching out to a few Curtin programs who were working in roles I'm interested in. Maybe I can ask them for a quick chat or some advice. It's about finally a message to me of 5 years from now is I hope you are doing well. First things first, I hope you still remember the date the Marshmallow Tower fell down. Don't ever be afraid to try things that might fail. That's where the best learning happens. And to sum it up, my time at Curtin Singapore, and especially this final unit, has given me so much more than a piece of paper. It gave me practical skills, a better understanding of my own strengths and weakness, and a much clearer roadmap for my future. It's been an incredible journey. Thank you for letting me share a part of it with you.